This video is part of the Struggle Meals collaboration going on at City Girl Homestead. Hi everyone, welcome to A Godly Home. This is struggle meal number 3. You see I have some baked potatoes here. These are left over. Every time I make baked potatoes, I make extras so that I have cooked potatoes because potatoes are inexpensive, and if you have some potatoes that are pre-cooked, it's pretty fast to get a meal. I got these direct from a Maine farmer, potato farmer, and I paid 40 cents a pound, and I bought 100 pounds, okay? I'm leaving the skins on tonight. You can peel these, but I am leaving the skins on because skins are more nutrition, and if we are doing a struggle meal, we need all the nutrition we can get. I have got a little bit of butter in this pan. You can use bacon grease, you can use hamburger grease, you can use vegetable oil, you can use canola oil, olive oil, butter, margarine, anything you've got for a fat. It's going to make a nice big pan of hash, and we will even have some of this left over that we can microwave probably with breakfast tomorrow, I'm guessing. This is one of my favorite struggle meals. This reminds me of my great-grandmother. She always cooked her big meal at lunchtime. She called that dinner. And then supper was a smaller meal where she always made potato hash and some leftover meat or whatever she had going from the day. And this was one of her classic meals, and she used it a lot when she had company, and we loved it. If you don't have any leftover potatoes, you can do this with raw potatoes. You'll just have to put a cover over them so that they can cook through. But hash turns out better with cooked potatoes, in my opinion. Okay, you can see this is a very big cast iron frying pan, and you can see that that is a lot of potato in there. Okay, let's add a little bit of seasoning salt. Okay, let's add some black pepper. All right, we are going to let that cook slow. It's on medium heat, and we want that to brown in the cast iron pan, so we want it to cook slow. Okay, with that, we are going to have this can of Spam. I'm going to cut this first into 12 slices, or as close to 12 slices as I can get. You guys have seen me make this meal on the channel before, but we always have new viewers, or we forget sometimes about different meals. Okay, that's 12 slices. Okay, how this formula works is Slippy always gets one slice right out of the gate. She stands and waits for it. Okay, I have the oven set to 375 degrees. I am going to do some of these plain, and I am going to do some of these with a mustard brown sugar glaze. Corey prefers his plain. Okay, so there's 6 slices in the pan plain. And now we're going to go ahead and get 6 in here that I will glaze, or 5 because Slippy's eating one. Good heaping spoonful of brown sugar. Where I'm just doing it on half. You know, if you're doing the whole thing, then do a couple big heaping spoonfuls. See the color? Right? And I'm just going to spoon that over those pieces. Okay, I'm going to pop that into the oven. We'll give this hash a little stir. Okay, I gotta get some water on to boil for some bouillon cubes next. Alright, in this mug, I am going to plop in 2 beef bouillon cubes. Okay, then with this, my great-grandmother would have used dandelion greens or fiddleheads. I don't have either. I'm going to use this can of spinach. The can of spinach did expire, so how am I going to handle this? First, I'm going to check, make sure it's sealed, okay? Then when I open the can, I'm going to make sure there's no rust inside the can and that it doesn't smell funny. Then, because it's an older can, I'm going to boil this liquid and all on the stove for 10 minutes. Everything looks a-okay. In my pot, it's going to go. Okay, on the back burner. All right. Then, my husband loves spinach, by the way. He doesn't care if it's fresh canned or what all is going on with it. Okay, so the last thing we're making tonight is we are going to make a little bit of gravy to go with this. And we'll be using that blue cube water. All right, here's a frying pan over medium heat. I'm going to add 2 tablespoons of this. I'm out of butter, regular butter. It's like a margarine with some butter in it. I'm going to give that a few minutes to melt. See how beautifully golden brown that hash is getting. Okay, to this butter, I'm going to add just 2 tablespoons of, or tablespoons of flour. Okay, that's going to go right into the cup with the bouillon cubes to start dissolving. Okay, so I got my flour in here. I'm going to whisk it in. I'm going to add some pepper. If I'm making it authentically, my great-grandmother, she always added one little sprinkle of garlic powder. And give that flour and butter just a couple minutes there. My spinach is back there boiling. Let's set a timer. I'm going to turn it down to medium. It will still boil, but that way it won't boil dry. All right, here we go. In goes the bouillon cube water. Okay, we're going to let that thicken. I'm going to turn my hash down to number 2 on the electric stove, or low if you're on a gas stove at this point, just because we don't want it to get too brown. It's really brown. Okay, what do we normally drink around here with meals? Okay, I'll either have a cup of hot tea or a glass of water with just a little tiny bit of lime juice. My son likes his with lemon juice. Corey just likes plain water, and this is just tap water. Or a cup of hot tea. That's about what we have with meals normally. I'm going to have a cup of hot tea tonight. That water's hot, so why not? Tonight it's red rose tea. Does anybody remember the red rose tea? When I was a kid, it used to come with the little figurines. I used to love to play with those. Do you guys remember when we did that Meals of the Decades collaboration and I was given the 1800s, and we learned that they drank molasses in their tea? Well, you know, I absolutely love that. And I have been doing that, not every time, but I have been doing that since doing that video. It's amazing the things that we can learn and become routine for us through the research and things that we do for these videos. And molasses is so good for you because it has so much iron in it. I'm just going to give it a little tiny bit, about a half a teaspoon. If you like it sweeter, add more molasses to yours. That's going to be great. That gravy's thickening up nice. Okay, Spam's still cooking. We got 6 minutes till that spinach is done, and I'll see you back then when I plate up the food. Okay, the timer is getting ready to go off, and I am going to put on my spinach some red vinegar and a little margarine, salt and pepper. Corey will just have his plain. Is that correct, Corey? You want your spinach plain, or do you want butter and salt and pepper? Butter and salt and pepper. Okay. He said butter and salt and pepper. I was wrong. Okay. Let me get the whisk out of the gravy. Turn that down to low. Just that all the way. Put the fork in there. Shut that off. I like to serve spinach with a fork, so it helps keep some of the liquid out of my plate. Okay, there is our delicious Spam. And there it is. It was a delicious meal. I hope you enjoyed this video, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more videos like this. Bye.